Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mortuary. I am the Mortician. Before we start today's video off, please tell me how you like this camera. It's actually my phone's camera. If you like this video more than just tell me or whatever. But today we'll be reviewing the Technica LP60. As you guys know, I'm pretty heavy into vinyl. I pretty much have at least one or two vinyls every recent album to pick up, so let's get right into it. First thing I want to talk about is actually putting it together, because yes, you have to put this together. The platter is separate, and the actual hard plastic case that goes over it, that is separate as well. Oops. So you actually have to put all that together, and it's actually really, really easy. It is a belt-driven vinyl player, but it comes with a red ribbon. I wish I took a picture of this, but I didn't think of it. But there's a red ribbon that's wrapped around the actual belt itself underneath the platter that you can pull and snag it onto the actual belt itself and just snap it off. Super easy to install that, and it was super easy to put the plastic cover over as well. Just a little bit of persuasion. You don't want to force it, but you have to actually use a little bit of strength to get that down there. But once it's down there, it's set. Next, I want to talk about the actual automatic features, because that was the first thing that I did other than hooking it up, but we'll talk about that later. Yes, the needle will actually lift itself off from its little platform and onto the record. And I absolutely love this. No hands needed. Although there is a manual button, so you just press that button and you can actually move the needle the way you want to, which is once again really awesome. It allows you to select whatever track you want to listen to, or if you want to do it yourself and don't trust in the automatic features, you can always use that manual button. The only thing I don't like, I used to use Crosley vinyl players, and I used to just turn those off and then put the needle on the record and then turn them on. I just felt like it was just a safer way to do it. I know a lot of people like to have the record spinning while they do it, so they don't have to wait for the record to actually come up to speed. But that's just the way I did it. I felt it was a little bit safer than just, fucking it up and scratching my records or whatever. But it makes this an anxiety-free mess that I can just hit the button and be done with it. But if I'm going to do it manually, I just rather there be an on and off switch, which there isn't. There is no on and off switch on this entire thing. There's also a neat feature of a built-in preamp, a built-in phono preamp, which is actually a really good quality one considering that it's a built-in feature. I actually listened to it the first time I plugged the record player in. It sounded really low coming through my speakers, and then I remembered reading about that built-in phono preamp, and I slapped it on. It was really loud and just really opened up the record player's potential, obviously. Other things I want to talk about is that you can use 45 RPMs on this, which is really nice. It's just a little button you press, which, by the way, it might be inconsequential, but I like all the buttons. I just like pressing the buttons. They have a nice feel to them, and it's just super enjoyable to hit the buttons. But you can hit a button for 45 and 33, and then there's actually a switch on the bottom right corner of the record player, which you can actually have it, to play 7 inches, and you won't have to manually do it. It'll just automatically, use that 7-inch feature, I guess you could say. Now, something that's kind of a bit smaller, which is why I kind of left it for last, is that there's actually a corner that is actually raised, so that if you're using 12-inch vinyls, you only need to touch the end of the vinyl with that corner and then place it down, which is super fucking awesome, by the way. Once again, going back to my experience with Crosley's, that didn't, you had to basically just pray that you actually got it in the hole, the peg in the hole. So that's an awesome feature. It's a small feature, but it means a lot to me coming from those shitty record players, which I plan on reviewing, just not quite yet. I wanted to do something good first. Now, the negatives. Some people might call these things nitpicky, but I think they're worth mentioning. Both the power cable and the RCA cables are hardwired into the machine itself. So there is no way to swap those cables out for better cables unless you are pretty good at soldering or whatever. Which is a shame, because if, you know, I've had it happen before with another player where I accidentally like ran over it with a vacuum cleaner and just snapped the cable. Although that's probably not going to be as big a problem here because it's actually a nice fat cable. But still, I would like the option to switch my own cables if I want. But you can see that I actually jerry-rigged it with a Turtle Beach splitter and the actual like splitter cable it came with. So it came with two of these. So basically I plugged the Turtle Beach end into this and plugged the RCA in here, the actual RCA in here, and that way I could actually extend the reach of the cables, which this is nice. I'm glad it came with two. I don't know why it came with two. It might have been actually a factory error, but mine came with two, which it's nice because once again you can actually like extend it. But you might want to invest in some actual extensions, although I haven't noticed a drop in quality. Now, that's where we have to actually talk about the sound quality, because I'm talking about all the features and whatnot. Morty, how does it sound? It's amazing. It sounds really, really, really good, considering where I came from using fucking Crosley's, those fucking pieces of shit. I had a Crosley Cruiser and the USB turntable thing. It sounds really nice, and I can actually show you how it's. Actually, I don't know if I could show you how it sounds based off a rip. But I just take my word for it. It sounds really good. The bass is much more pronounced than the other record players I had. So if you're playing with like a Crosley Cruiser or the USB turntable, I don't know what that is. That one's called. You're missing out on a lot of the bass because it's super up in your face. You can hear it really well, and it sounds so much clearer hearing it from this record player compared to those other two pieces of shit. So if you're using one of those Crosley, or you're looking at one of those Crosley players, just don't spend the extra like $20 or $30 and just get the Technica LP60. The sound quality they're miles apart. And if you're someone who maybe has a more professional setup, a better record player, I would say that it'd be a good investment if like your actual record player is ever at the shop. It's a nice one to have around because the sound quality is just so good, and it's just such a cheap player. I think I picked mine up for like, it was $89.99 on sale, but because of tax it was $95, which that's fine because the sound quality and the price are actually really good. So what would I actually give this player? I would give this player like, I think I would give it like, I'd have to give it like a solid 8. The reason I don't give it a 9, and I barely ever give things 10s, but the reason I won't give it a 9 is simply because of the fact that the cables are too short. The cables are just too short, specifically the RCA. I can actually get this in video here. Look at that. If you see that right there, that is my system. You see where the record player is right there? It couldn't even reach behind the system, being a couple of feet apart. That is how drastic that how small and how short those cables are. So you can probably understand. Let me put this back here. You can probably understand why I'm not eager to give it a 9, but it is a solid record player with solid sound production and some really awesome, neat features. So thank you guys for watching. Definitely pick this up. This is a definitely recommend. Thank you guys for watching. Have you used this record player? Have you used any record player? Please tell me in the comments below. Peace out.